on your time. I mean it very respectfully.
Brendan, you can start once Adam
Okay,
figures out technology.
Armando Bacot Jr.
Hey, Armando, last first game, does it feel any different?
No. I mean, it's always anticipation for the first game. Just excited to get out there and see how we look. We've been playing against each other all offseason, so ready to play another opponent.
Is excitement the dominant thing you're feeling right now, or is there anything else?
Definitely. I mean, I've been feeling encouraged just how we've been practicing and playing. I mean, we seem like a team that's been playing hard and listening to the coaches, so I'm excited to see if we can carry that on to the first game of the season.
How much of that excitement is the fact that the last taste was Virginia and Greensboro, and you guys didn't make the tournament, and you're just so ready to have something new and different on the basketball court?
Yeah, I mean, well, all season it's been great just having a bunch of new guys and different faces in the locker room. And, I mean, it's just been great having so many new guys because we kind of just flushed last season and really haven't even thought about it at all because, I mean, the guys on the team really haven't been through that, and only a few of us was a part of that. So it's just been great just and refreshing.
Well, how important are these first 3 games at home, kind of for establishing continuity? I know you all, been together during the summer, even the last few months, but just how those first 3 games, how important is that?
I mean, it's huge that we take care of business, especially, more of the first 5 guys to give those other guys off the bench more playing time and have an opportunity to get acclimated. I think last year we didn't do a good job of handling business early on in the season, and it didn't allow those guys to get those minutes early on versus teams, I guess, not as good as teams who play in the ACC and things like that, to allow them to be able to play in those later games and be ready. So I think we just got to come up with an emphasis of just playing as good as possible and playing for those other guys too so they can get opportunity.
I was gonna say, following up on that, I know it's always important to win the games, but how important is play well?
I mean, it's huge because you want to start building those good habits now and not thinking we can just turn it on at a certain point of the season, but kind of just playing like that throughout the beginning and then carrying it on to the end.
Armando, some people would consider you a UNC legend. Did you know Walter Davis at all? Had you met him at any point?
Coach Davis talks about him a lot, so that's kind of how we knew him, and I know it was probably tough for him just, and the whole UNC family kind of would happen.
What did he say about him when you talked about him?
I mean, he would always say, that's why he wanted to come to UNC, and I mean, I guess without Walter Davis, we wouldn't have Coach Davis here at UNC and want to take on the challenge to come to UNC when Coach Smith told him he wouldn't ever play here. I think just kind of his uncle playing here kind of inspired him to kind of push through and fight through.
Have you seen that full 8 points in 17-second comeback before?
Yes, I have. That was impressive.
Armando, for people who weren't here for the exhibition last Friday, who's the new face on the team that you're most excited for fans to see play a Target uniform?
Well, I mean, you're just talking based off that game. I guess you could probably say Creighton Lebo, but I don't want to put too much stock into that game. But I mean, we all played good and we handled business and we didn't play down the competition. So I think that was just encouraging. Like I said, just continuing on the good habits. So I think it's having those good habits that will make a difference.
Once you guys get into the meat of the season and people are watching game after game, what is one thing that they're going to see that is very different about this group than last year?
I mean, my hope, I don't want to jinx it, but that we play hard. Like I said, I mean, adding in those new transfers, they're hungry and they've been doing everything that we've asked for. And I mean, it's just a certain level of trust I think we got this year that I think will make a huge difference, especially keep us consistent all throughout the year and not turn it on at certain points.
Have you felt how that just kind of, I don't know, has it reinvigorated you? I mean, you've been here a long time, you've been the leader, but have you kind of had to reestablish yourself with those new guys here?
I mean, it's been great. Like I said, I mean, this is probably the closest I've been with a group since I've been here, other than maybe my freshman year. And I mean, I love just coming in here every day, practicing and lifting, going out with teammates and all that. So it's been great. And I mean, we seem like a group that really wants to play for each other and win, and I think that's encouraging.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I don't know. I think we all just in similar situations. I mean, we got a lot of transfers coming from situations they didn't like and they want to win. And obviously, everyone that was here last year wants to win. I think we all kind of have that agreement and kind of have that amongst us that we know we have one goal.
Kind of going off of that, from an on-court, stylistic perspective, what makes this year's team unique to the other teams that you've been part of in those last years?
I mean, I think we deeper. I think it's like this year, actually, we have guys that'll have to play. Like Jalen Washington will have to play him. He's been amazing all season. I mean, I think it'd be huge for me. James, too. I mean, both of them have been great. You know, I've seen Zayden. He can really play. Obviously, Elliott, with his passing ability and the way he can control things. And then we got also guys like Jalen Withers, obviously, with his athleticism and experience. Seth has been great all offseason. We kind of battling stuff, but he's back. So excited for him. And I mean, just everybody. I think we got a good group of guys.
RJ said that ACC tip-off that he's had to change a little bit of his leadership style, just sort of get out of his comfort zone a little bit. With so many new faces on the team, have you found that you've had to do the same thing, change up your leadership style a little bit, just because there's been so much turnover?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, I've been kind of the same, me just being as vocal as possible, but also just trying to take a lot of young guys under my wings and kind of lead them away and keep them from some of the things that I did in my freshman year and just kind of trying to help them with that. But I mean, we got an old team. I mean, I saw something on Twitter today, like, averages like 22.9, something like that year. So we got a lot of guys that have been there. And I mean, there's not much I can really say to a guy like Cormac or Paxson or Jalen who's been through it all and they kind of know how to work with it. So I mean, it's been great having a lot of older guys too.
I was gonna ask if leading is easier in a sense, because these guys are kind of self-led as well. And you have 5 guys on the roster that were captains last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's huge because like it's one of those things where like we're in practice and coach can say one thing and that's all it'll have to be versus like maybe last year not coach having to repeat things and kind of the message not getting out there. I think now like coach he just tells us one thing and we go out there and do it.
I was gonna ask, last year, obviously, your preseason #1, I don't know if you felt the burden of that going into the season. Is it different this year? Let's just go out and play and see what happens. Let's see how many games we
Yeah, I mean, this year, like I said, we just hungry. Last year, I mean, we felt we were that good, we weren't that good, so that's just really all that happened.
Armando, you missed Brady last year on the court, but he supposedly was one who would say things to the team off the court in the locker room, maybe more than anybody else. Is there anybody on the team that has replaced him from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, Brady was just kind of weird, honestly. He was just, I don't know how much he would say. He would just start flipping out and kicking chairs and stuff like that. And I mean, having a guy like that, it was definitely great for us because, I mean, it was something to laugh at, but also, too, we kind of felt where he was coming from and it got us going. But I mean, I'll probably say Cormac is close to that. He's done a few crazy things so far, but I mean, it's been great for us.
In the exhibition, you guys were switching a lot. Do you anticipate doing that the rest of the season, and how has the defensive approach changed?
Yeah, I mean, this year we got a lot of athleticism on the wing and at the 4 position too. I mean, with Pete, we could definitely switch too, but he was also such a good shot blocker, so we kind of wanted to ice and keep him to the rim. But we got guys like Jalen Withers and Zayden High and Harrison who aren't as like 6'11", 7 feet like Pete, so we're allowed to switch more on the guards and trust them guarding out there. So it's been great having those athletic, smaller guys.
What are some of those crazy things Cormac's done?
I mean, just all the time, like, he's just so competitive, and I mean, it's great, like, he might miss a shot and get mad and start yelling, or, I mean, get beat on the backdoor cut and get upset about that, and I mean, it's just good having guys like him that, like, really cares about doing good.
Armando, have you been surprised at Harrison's ability to be sort of like a small ball 4? Like, I don't know, I think some people thought he would just be sort of a wing dude when he got here, like, is that caught you by surprise?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure like how Harrison played. Like, I had an idea. I knew he was a good player, but I didn't know he would be able to kind of do a lot of the things he do. And I didn't know he would be that good defensively either. So it's been great having a guy like that. Like, I feel confident with him guarding a 1. I feel confident with him guarding a 5. Probably other than me, like, but every other 5 he can do a good job on. So it's been great having him and the way he passed. I mean, we got a bunch of unselfish guys, so that's what's been good.
And that seems that just to follow up on that, it seems to give you just an extra ball mover out there at that position.
Exactly. I mean, it makes offense way easier because we got 4 guys out there that can create a shot, knock down a shot, but also come off screen and do a lot of things like that. So it just makes us that much more of a threat.
Where would you say Coach Davis is like going into the season compared to the last 2 years?
I mean, I think every year he kind of has the same approach. Like, he's fired up and he's honestly the same all the time. I think it's just more of us as players to be able to kind of take on his personality and take that on the court with us.
Kind of going off of that, you talked about, obviously last year you guys wrote out the list of the goals you wanted to have. This season, he said he kind of laid that out for you guys. Have you maybe noticed a bit more of an assertiveness from him now that he's in his 3rd year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for him too, this is the first year where everybody that's here, he recruited, so he got a chance to recruit all the guys that he wanted here, and I think that's been good for him, and he's been able to kind of implement a lot of the things that he wants to do and kind of his style of basketball he want to play.
Is there anything you tried to do with all the transfers that came in, like to introduce yourself? Was there like a specific way you tried to go about that with each new guy, or what? How did you approach that?
I mean, I think I'm a pretty good salesman. Like, I kind of give them an idea, like, how UNC is. And, I mean, a university like this is kind of hard to say no to anyway. And, I mean, I just try to kind of be an extension of Coach Davis somewhat and kind of let them know what they're getting themselves into. But I'm just glad we got along.
Armando, when you look at this past journey, past 4 or 5 years, if you could tell yourself one piece of advice going into your freshman season, what would it be?
Probably don't worry, you know, just kind of let it all play out. I didn't know if I was like good enough, I was gonna be good enough to play in the ACC after my freshman year, but kind of figured out now I'm good enough.
What advice do you think 10 years from now you would give yourself now, going into this year?
10 years from now? Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably something like that, yeah.
Because I can actually, you've grown so much. this
Yes.
year, and not just how you deal with us, but a lot of it. So based on how you think you're growing,
I'll probably say just like cherish these moments, because I mean, everybody always comes back and say like how much they miss being here and just how much it meant for them and like kind of how it was like somewhat at the peak of their life. So just kind of cherish this last year and just bring in everything.
How would you measure how much this team from last year to this year has improved the shooting? That obviously was such a issue last year, and it seems like this could be a really good shooting group.
I mean, shooting, that's like a hard subject to touch on just because like in the offseason everybody looked good shooting. So really, I mean,
It's a good point.
it just matters really like once the lights cut on for real. I mean, I got the highest 3-point percentage on the team right now practice, and
Come on.
for real. So I mean, it just you just never know. Once the lights get on, I guess we'll see. But I mean, we got a lot of guys who hit shots at a high level, like Cormac, Paxson, Harrison, Jalen Withers. So that is encouraging, just knowing that.
With you and RJ being the lone mainstays with this team, this program, have you guys had any conversations about just like how long you guys have been here, or has your relationship changed any this offseason with you guys being kind of those two guys left?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been close, but I mean, I think it's definitely an understanding between like me and RJ, like this is our last shot, and it's probably the last time me and him and I would play together too, so kind of just want to make the best of it.
Well, I guess I gotta ask, I mean, a second ago you said at first you weren't sure if you'd be ready playing in ACC, whatever. Did you have a moment, either your freshman year, sophomore year, whatever, when you kind of, you know, had that realization of like, okay, I can compete?
Yeah, probably like after my freshman year, like just meeting with Coach Williams and him just telling me like I gotta get better or I won't play next year. That's really the main thing, and like I didn't want to transfer, so I knew like, and not luckily, but somewhat luckily, we had a lot of time off with just like COVID and stuff, so it allowed me to get better and be able to like lift more, get stronger, and work on like a lot of my weaknesses, watch a lot of film, and that made a huge difference.
Armando, is it okay, with all the depth that you have, is it okay for you to play only 30 minutes a game this year? And it will all help you in a way, because when you're up there, you play as hard as you can for whatever time you have.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be probably glad to play 30 minutes. I'm not sure, like, just based on, like, the first 2 games we played and kind of, I know what Coach Davidson wanted to do. I doubt I'll probably play that much, but really, I think it'll definitely be, like, an adjustment for me not playing as much, just kind of, last year I felt like at times I would try to, like, pick my spots to preserve myself, and, I mean, y'all know sometimes I get in foul trouble, too, so just kind of learning how to, like, just go hard the whole time and not having to pick spots, I think would be great for me.
Does it seem like a lot of guys are gonna play, based on?
Yes, it does.
Armando, obviously,
Last one.
in the national title game, you sprained your ankle, kind of struggled with injuries, whether it was the shoulder or ankle all last season. Do you feel like you're the healthiest you've been in a while? And I guess, how has that kind of changed your approach coming into this year?
Yes, I mean, I feel great. Like I've been saying it all offseason, like last year, really looking back at it. I just didn't think I was all the way healthy all throughout the season. And I mean, this year, Jonas and Doug have done a great job of just like being able to rehab me and get me stronger. And I mean, I completely changed my whole routine, just with everything. So it's been great, just feeling healthy and feeling confident in myself. And I think that was a huge part. Like last year, I mean, my rim protection really like suffered just because I was always just worried about just different things and landing and stuff like that. So I mean, I think this year definitely helped me and the team out a lot more, being more healthy.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Great stuff.
Fifth year college basketball, you played 2 years, 2 other places. What is your level of excitement going into this opener as opposed to your previous 2 stops?
Yeah, I think it's the same, you know, that time of year comes around, first real game, although, you know, we had a scrimmage and exhibition that matters too, but, really excited to get out there, for real, Monday night.
Have you played anything through your mind about how things might go this year, what it's gonna be like to wear that uniform in a real game, playing some of those stages you guys are gonna play in, or is this something you're just gonna let happen, you don't really think too much down the road?
I mean, you know, everyone dreams and kind of thinks things through their mind, so definitely, you know, visualizing certain things here and there, but, I would say right now, you're just taking it day by day. You know, you try not to look past any opponent, any practice, you try to win every day and go like that, so that's what I'm doing.
Is there one part of Monday that you like visualize the most, like run that tunnel, introductions, tip, checking in first time?
I wouldn't say a particular moment. It's just sometimes when you're out there, you know, whether it's like a dead ball or, you know, free throws, you know, everything kind of just stops around you and it'll hit you sometimes. But haven't thought about, you know, a particular moment. But obviously running around the tunnel was cool. You know, the introductions were really fun, and jump ball and all that. But it's all enjoyable.
Max, you've played a lot of college basketball, you've been around it for a long time, obviously, with your dad. Like, what would you say this preseason, what have you seen this preseason out of this group that gives you hope for what you all can become this year? Like, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of teams, you know, throughout my career, and one thing about this group that really sticks out is just how unselfish we are and how much we enjoy being around each other. I would say just both on and off the court, kind of the chemistry we built in such a short time has been impressive to me, especially with so many new guys. So it's a group that loves being around each other, and you know, that's not the case at, you know, with every team or every program. So to be with a team where we all enjoy, you know, coming to practice every day and competing and, you know, going at each other, but knowing once we get off the court, you know, we're all best friends, it's really special.
That's something you need, obviously, the chemistry, but you can't force it.
Mhm.
So you see what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly, yeah, it's gotta be genuine. And, you know, we've got a bunch of great guys in the locker room, so we're blessed to all, you know, enjoy each other's company and spend a lot of time together outside of basketball too.
What else do you think you guys have that chemistry?
Say
What
again?
else do you think you guys have that chemistry and enjoy each other so much?
Why else?
Yeah, what's kind of deep there about just being a little bit different group, especially you guys coming from so many different places,
Yeah.
so many different experiences.
Yeah, I would say, you know, common goals is one thing. You know, we all wanna, you know, win, and we wanna do it together, and we know that, you know, we can't win at our highest level without the guy next to you, you know, the guy to your left and right. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that brings this group together, and then also just, you know, common interests. You know, we all love basketball. You know, we love watching basketball. We love hanging out together. You know, cracking jokes in the locker room. Like, it's just natural. So.
What was your biggest advantage in your mind being the coach's son?
I think being around the game for so long, I've got a great basketball IQ, and, you know, just growing up watching games and going to college practices is something that truly kind of gave me an edge, you know, in high school and, you know, freshman year in college, just knowing how competitive and intense, you know, every day is at the Division I level. You know, a lot of guys, you know, don't really know what that level is like, but just being around it my whole life is something I'm truly thankful for.
Can you make up for, you might have a lack of something, like quickness or anything, by being a coach's son and knowing some of the nuances of the game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at all levels of basketball, guys, you know, make up, you know, not being able to shoot the ball or, you know, not being able to guard the quickest player or jump the highest. They make it up with other things, you know. There's guys at the NBA level that, you know, are specialists and get paid a lot of money just because, you know, they can knock down a corner three or they can guard 1 through 4 or, you know, step out and hedge on a ball screen. So there's a bunch of ways in this game where you can make yourself valuable, and I think one of the coolest things about basketball is how players find, you know, that ability to create value for themselves on different teams.
What was your dad's reaction when you told him you're coming to Carolina?
He was excited. Both my mom and him were involved in the recruiting process, but they knew that at the end of the day it was going to be my decision. So they were there to kind of listen when I would talk to them and, you know, break it down to them how I was feeling. But when I finally told them that I felt like this was the place for me and this was home, I think they were really excited because it is a stressful process, and you know, it's a place that they love so much too. So they were relieved that, you know, Carolina was the place for me.
What was that process like for you? I mean, you were the first transfer to commit, so it was pretty early on in the offseason when you decided to come here.
Yeah, it was interesting, especially being at Brown with the Ivy League rule, knowing the whole season that I wasn't going to be back with my teammates at Brown if I wanted to continue playing in college. So it was kind of this weird thing where, you know, I knew next year I was going to be on a different team, so the coaches knew I was going to be in the transfer portal, but it wasn't like I was transferring, you know, for different reasons. But it was chaotic, you know, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, setting up Zoom calls, people flying out to visit you. But it was really nice to, you know, have conversations and get to know people quick. But, you know, I enjoyed it, and, you know, I was really thankful I found a home here. And once Carolina, you know, came calling, I knew it was a place for me, so.
Was Michigan State a consideration?
No, it was not.
I mean, genuine question, I don't know, so.
It wasn't.
Do they play Monday?
They play Monday night. They host James Madison.
I was wondering today.
This is kind of like a two-piece question, but what did you see in Carolina that made you want to come here, and what did you think that you could bring to Carolina?
Coach Davis's passion was something that really stood out to me. He loves this place and speaks so highly of it. Him being a player and then, you know, coming back and, you know, me and his wife feel like this is home for him. And I could really tell how special the place it is just by hearing him talk about it. So that's something that was really attractive to me, and also just being a part of a program like Carolina basketball with the rich tradition and the winning culture, and just the opportunity to be part of something bigger than myself was really appealing to me. And initially I thought that I could bring experience and, you know, shooting and leadership and basketball IQ and being able to, you know, play, make, create for others. And that's something that Coach Davis, you know, agreed with. And so we both had aligning visions, and was kind of a perfect match for me, so I was lucky.
What were your expectations when you decided to come to Carolina? Could you have anticipated starting?
I didn't really have any expectations. I knew I could trust Coach Davis, and I trusted what he told me, and I came in, you know, really looking forward to being a part of something bigger than myself and being a part of a winning group. And I believe in Coach Davis's vision, and I was willing to do whatever he wanted me to do, whatever the coaching staff wanted me to do, and whatever's going to help his team win. So that was kind of what my mindset was coming in.
You mentioned the unselfishness of this team. After the exhibition last Friday, Coach Davis was saying, from a basketball perspective, that maybe sometimes you guys are a little too unselfish, like making the extra pass. Is that something he's communicated to you all since then?
He has. I think that when we are open, we do need to shoot it. And, you know, it's kind of a fine line between turning down a good shot to getting a great shot and knowing you have a great shot. So you're going to run into some situations where, you know, maybe looking back you should have taken a shot, but I think it's a good problem to have.
You mentioned different things that you thought you could bring: passing, playmaking, et cetera, like shooting. What do you think is going to translate most immediately, like on Monday? What is, you know, Vance walking out of the other, Paxson really?
Yeah, I think one thing that people will take away is just effort, and how hard I play and how vocal I play. I think that's something I really pride myself in, being able to control what you can control. Some nights your shot's not going to fall. You might play great defense, but, you know, they might hit a great shot. So if you can just control, you can control, and, you know, do those intangible things at a high level, you know, you're going to win a lot of games. And so that's something I think people will appreciate and take away.
Along those lines.
Those first 3 games that you guys had at home, I know you all have been, you know, together throughout the summer, things like that. I guess from a continuity standpoint, how important it was for you?
Every game's important. You know, Monday night is what our focus is on right now, and then after that we'll go to Sunday Lehigh. But right now, all we're thinking about is Radford, and taking it day by day. So first we got a good practice today, but it's obviously incredibly important.
Pax, talking about effort, is the competitiveness there with this group? Because it sounds like, you know, the practices have been pretty intense, you know. I mean, the older guys aren't mailing it in, is what it sounds like. I mean.
No, not at all. It's a uber competitive group. We got a bunch of guys that, you know, really like to win, but they hate to lose more, if that makes sense. And every drill is competitive, you know, whether it's shooting drills or, you know, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, live play, free throws, like, everyone wants to win. You know, when we're doing conditioning drills in the summer, people are trying to win those. So it's really fun, and, you know, there's some good banter and trash talk as long as it doesn't get out of hand, and Coach Davis isn't complaining about it. It's really good for us.
Last week I was talking to RJ about you, just trying to get his take on what kind of player you are. And I mentioned to him that you had 13 boards at Michigan State last year, and that's kind of popped in. He said, that explains a lot. And Armando kind of described you as being an edgy player, a much grittier player than people will realize. How soon after getting here did some of these guys comment to you about, dude, you bring it, or you're pretty physical, or dial it down, or whatever?
Yeah, I think this first week, really, playing pickup, you know, we at camp, we were playing pickup, you know, late at night, and I just remember, you know, I was coming on, I was subbing in, and Big Z, he mentioned to someone on the other team, he pointed at me, he was, you know, hey, you gotta box this guy out. Like, he doesn't look like he's gonna crash, but he'll come up with some sneaky ones, some loose balls, and literally, like, the next possession I got one, and whoever it was like, oh, I see what you're talking about now, Z, like, I got him. But yeah, it's something I really pride myself in. I think with this year's group, I'll be surrounded with a lot, you know, better rebounders than I was last year. We were a little bit thin, and so it was kind of a bigger role for me to rebound for my team. So I'll try to help Armando, Harrison, you know, RB guys as much as I can, but it's really hard to, you know, steal someone away from them. They do a pretty good job rebounding the ball. So.
What were those alumni games like?
They were great. The guys coming back from the NBA or overseas really is, you know, invaluable experience for us, you know, just being able to pick their brain and compete against them. And it just goes to show the Carolina family, guys that are so willing to come back and play and teach the current guys.
Was there a guy there that you saw that you remember watching when they were in college and you're like, wow, I'm actually playing against this person?
I think all of them, really. It's hard to pick one. With Marcus on staff, playing against Z, you know, K. Will, like all those guys coming back. It's been great, you know. But you definitely, you know, look up to those guys that, you know, were playing here when you were younger, and, you know, now to play against them or learn from them or be able to work out with them in the summer is really cool.
How did Thank you, Howard. How did you pick number 8? Was that Kobe?
So, I love Kobe, but it wasn't Kobe. 8's always been my lucky number. I was born August 8th, 2000, and I had this moment in 2008. I guess it's like a golden birthday, but I turned 8, 8th month, 8th day, 2008, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And so ever since then, like 8's been my lucky number. And I also love playing pool, so 8 ball, like I don't know, 8 was just a thing, and I thought that, you know, this is my last year in college, this is the first year that you can get away with it.
Right.
Why not do it? So that's
a lot of synergy with 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Max.
Thank you.